Alright, what's up guys? This is the BT15 both post and pre-ban list Melga deck profile. So for starters, we're going to start with the Tamas. Pre-ban list, you're looking at 4 Bukamons. Before this card goes to 1, you might as well get as much value out of it as possible. But as soon as it does get hit, we are going to be moving over to a 1-3 split. And I'm even considering only playing like 3 Tamas just to increase my chance of seeing this.
I would suggest that.
So I'm going to test it and see how I feel with less Tamas in the deck. But this card is so broken. It's just like, it's worth wanting to see it. The only reason I don't want to cut my extra Tama is because there are some grindy matchups in this format. So maybe seeing that 4th Tama would actually come up. That's it for the Tamas. Moving on to the first of the rookies. We have 4 of the BT15 Gabumon. Sean, thank you for these alt arts. That was very appreciated.
You're very welcome.
Of course, his effect is pretty good. You give himself blocker when he comes out of the raising, and any Digimon blocker start at main phase. And if you have mat on the board, you get to draw 1, which of course triggers your BT15 mats to allow you to get extra memory. Very nice. And then the inheritable is once per turn, draw 1, which is also very nice because we want to be able to draw as many cards as possible. Next, I still run a full 4 of the BT5 Gabumon. He's your generic searcher. On play, reveal 3, grab an Omni and a Garu. Very good. Next, this is pre-ban list, of course. We are running 3 Gabu X's, or 4 Gabu X's. When it goes to 1, literally just replace it with BT9 Gabu X. That's it. So this card's broken. It's going to run 1 for a reason. Seeing what other decks do, though, I think he could have stayed. I think we could have kept him.
No.
Right now, I'm running 3 of the promo Garurumon. This is probably your best inheritable next to your other one of Garu, just because it's always a draw 1. The only time you're not drawing is when you're swinging with Omnimon, and at that point, you're winning. So why would you care? So yeah, it's simple. Next is 3 copies of BT15. When Digivolving, you get to play Mat for a reduced cost of 3 if you don't already have one on the board. If you do already have one, you get to draw 1, so it turns him into a draw 2, which of course will trigger your Mat, allowing you to get extra memory. And then his inheritable, like the BT15 Gabu, is a generic once per turn when you're attacking draw. Then, of course, we have pre-ban list 4 Garu X's. I mean, we know he's the most broken card. He gets you 3 cards, fills your trash, the battle protection, extra memory. He does it all. Again, once the ban list does hit, we are going to be swapping over to this guy, the BT9. You're losing consistency when you're switching over to him, but at that point, you're just pivoting to being more of a stack-based deck instead of promoting a level 4 and trying to kill. So you will lose a bit of aggression once this guy goes down, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be the biggest of deals. It'll still suck, though. Next, for level 5s, we're going to start with our one of. We're back to running him. He is a when attacking once per turn unsuspend if you have Garu in the source, and then security check +1. Very good. And then, of course, we have the 3 Garus, the purples. I bumped him up, and I just completely cut the ace. I wanted to run it because I pulled the alt art, but it just wasn't worth it. I didn't see any value in it, honestly. It just doesn't help you kill people. This will let you unsuspend and pop a level 4, so that's why we run that. And then, of course, the Garu X Antibody, we're still running 3 of this. I'm not running BT9. Stop telling me to run BT9, I'm not doing it. This card is way too good to not run him. He lets your level 6s unsuspend, he unsuspends himself, and he recycles from trash. I don't need to bounce a level 4. Doesn't need that. I don't need it. Next, we're looking at 3 copies of the new Secret Rare MetalGaru. Alt arts are on the way. Don't worry about that. We'll be blinged out next week. So, of course, you can warp Evo on top of your Gabumon if your opponent has a 10k DP on the board and you have a Tamer in play, which is almost always a potential thing your opponent needs to think about. And then he also just has Evade, which of course is Blue's best protection effect. It's actually very nice to have at least something in this deck instead of just dying to any option you check, period. Still doesn't help against DP neg. So, Then, of course, when Digivolving, you can target up to 3 cards on your opponent's field, Tamers or Digimon, and you can make it to where they can't be suspended. That's very good. Stuns them out for a turn. And then the all turns, once per turn, when he comes suspended, unsuspend him. So he can attack potentially 3 times with this guy's inheritable. And then 3 copies of the BT9 MetalGaru X Antibody. Pretty self-explanatory. He unsuspends coming out, he bounces all their lowest levels, and then he has the ability to give himself blocker, which again, almost never comes up, but if it does, cool. Next, I did bump up my Omni package to 3. I wanted to see Blitz Omni more often because now all my level 6s can Evo into Blitz Omni. I wanted to see it more. And honestly, it's just a really good game ender because 9 times out of 10, you're not needing to see the Omni X to end a game. You're usually getting them down to 0 and then, Blitz Omniing. But of course, you gotta keep the Omni X. It's one of your only outs to certain cards like Quartzmon. And if you don't see it, you just hard lose. Next, I run 3 of the BT15 mats. I wanted to do 4, but I really liked it at 3. I'm feeling it right now. I'm still testing. So on play, reveal 3, add 1 to your hand with Garu, and then or Gabu or Garu. And then when a card effect adds a card to your hand, a Digimon effect specifically, you can tap it to gain a memory. Very good. 2 copies of Matt. His effect, also pretty standard. Memory setter, discard a card, gain a memory. Very good. Next, we run 3 copies of Mental Training. I cut it down to 3 from 4 to fit the extra Omnimon in, so that's what that is. It's your training card. I don't think I need to explain it. 2 copies of Blue Memory Boost, same exact deal. It's a searcher, you get what you want. Then I run 1 of each X Antibody. I'm testing this. I honestly don't feel like I really like it, so I might just run 2 of these, but it can come up sometimes if you want to reduce your cost. But yeah, that's all for the deck. It's still super, super consistent. I think once the ban list does hit, it's going to lose a lot of that consistency. But I feel like this deck particularly can still power through that. I feel like we're still not going to have too much of an issue getting through a lot of matchups. So that's everything though.